"Help me name them," I said to Earl, Seth, and Sara as we stared at the pots of bright sauce. A haze of heat shimmered over them, and the smell of garlic and onion filled the kitchen. Earl was suspicious. No surprise, Earl is always suspicious. He essentially came with the place when I inherited it from my uncle last April. Earl's in his early 70s, and he lives in a cabin on the edge of the property, and he recently bought a half ownership. Not long after I moved to Woefield, I learned that Earl is a cult figure in the roots music world. His brother is Merle Clementi. They were the High Lonesome Boys, a foundational bluegrass band, until Earl decamped for reasons unknown. Earl's creativity with the banjo does not translate into adventurousness when it comes to food or drink. He's learned to tolerate a diet heavy on organic greens and brown rice, but still finds any coffee that doesn't look like lightly used dishwater too powerful. Naturally, he drew a hard line at my hot sauces.
"I ain't touching that. Just standing near them pots is making my eyes water," he said.
"Keep an open mind. Hot food has positive effects on the mood. Besides, capsaicin is odorless." Earl made a face. His general appearance is that of someone who has spent a lifetime breaking rocks in a quarry for low pay. This is in spite of the fact that he's spent most of the last 30 years in a recliner watching TV. He has longish white hair on the sides of his head and is bald on top. He wears his work pants pulled up high, courtesy of a pair of wide suspenders. Earl's customary expression is that of a man who would automatically say no to any question you cared to ask. But his eyes, which are small but clear and brown, are, in unguarded moments, even a little twinkly. Though I would never tell him that because he'd probably start wearing sunglasses.
"I just got over my heartburn from our trip to Ron's Pizza Parlor," he said.
"Serves you right. You and Seth knew I'd made Swiss chard and white bean casserole."
"Exactly," said Seth.
Seth is 21 and has been living with me since he was kicked out of his mother's house across the street from the farm. He came to the door looking for room and board in exchange for work. He was in terrible shape. Apparently, there was some trauma at his school that rendered him alcoholic, agoraphobic, and highly dependent on the internet for all his social needs. I took him in, put him to work, and set him on a new path. He's been sober for 3 months, and I give farm life much of the credit. It's my belief that healthy food and hard work can cure just about any problem. In contrast to Earl, Seth looks exactly like what he is, a heavy metal fan who spends too much time on his computer when he's not working outside. Over the summer, his pasty white skin had begun to show signs of healthy circulation, if not an actual tan. But his natural pallor returned with the change in the weather. He trimmed his long black hair so that now it just brushes his shoulders. Seth almost always wears either an Iron Maiden or a Judas Priest ball cap. The first time I saw him without either one, I was startled to realize that his hair is lovely and thick. The persistence of the cap made me think he was hiding early baldness. He's lost his junk food gut, and his hunched posture has straightened somewhat. Seth is even a bit good-looking, in his way. Seth may appear somewhat less scurvy-afflicted than he did when he arrived, but he's still devoted to processed foods. He and Earl sneak off to Smitty's and Ron's, and any other purveyors of junk food every chance they get. Worse, they bring Sara with them. Sara is the final member of our household. We met when her parents asked if she could board her fancy show poultry with us. Soon after the chickens moved here, her parents' marriage disintegrated under the crushing weight of their mutual loathing, and Sara joined her birds. She's a serious and competent child who spends her time reading educational books and drawing up plans for practical things and tending her flock. She gets